Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the severe weather outbreak today, potential derecho, and as well as the severe weather for tomorrow, all the way through day 5 and even after day 5 to how we could see how the Storm Prediction Center is mentioning some other severe weather. Without further ado, let's get started. So today we have a moderate risk for places like southwest Georgia, southern and central Alabama, and central Mississippi. A large enhanced risk going from, say, Georgia all the way through Texas, and the slight risk and marginal risk going all the way up through Texas to North Carolina. So the tornado risk, there's a 10% SIG, but it's quite obvious the moderate risk is not for tornadoes. And this 10% SIG is the significant tornado risk is mainly confined to Alabama and Georgia. Chances of it happening outside of that is very low. And then we have a 5% for Louisiana, Arkansas, all the way through South Carolina, and then a 2% around that. Wind threat, Tuscaloosa, Montgomery are probably the largest threats. As we can see, a potential derecho is possible. And for hail, the hail threat is mainly going to be to the west and central parts of the risk, where we could have a 30% SIGs. But it's quite obvious wind is the greatest threat here. And we do see how it says 3,000 to 4,000 Cape. Ongoing clusters as well. So, sorry about that. So, what we're really going to have to be looking at here is the significant severe events, and it could be supercells capable, very large hail to near 3 inches forming. So, that's really what we're going to have to watch out for, and potential 80-mile-an-hour winds, mainly for Georgia. Anyway, for tomorrow, we have a slight risk for Dallas, Fort Worth, Oklahoma, Tulsa, and Arlington. And, of course, we have the Florida, Georgia, Alabama risk. So, tornado risk, 5% has been introduced for places like Oklahoma, Tallahassee, Norman, Wichita, and Lawton. 2% Dallas, Jacksonville, Fort Worth, Arlington, Plano. Obviously, it doesn't mean you only have a 5% chance of getting a tornado, obviously, but that's just a risk. Wind, there's a significant wind risk out in the western risk, but in the 15% risk to the east, there is no significant. But for hail, there is a significant area for both of them. So the significant severe hail risk includes places like Oklahoma, Mobile, Tallahassee, Norman, and Wichita. And they do mention that there could be supporting wind profiles could be more supportive of tornadoes, so portions of the western region could be upgraded. This is for the plains, and for the eastern regions, large to very large hail and a tornado or two, obviously, due to the 5% and up to 3-inch hail as well. So now we're going to move to day 3, where probabilistic, we have a slight risk for places like Memphis and Tulsa, and then a large marginal risk. No significance, as you can see there. And really, there appears to be some consensus with the activity and some risk for severe hail and wind, but that really seems it at the moment. Now, day 4, we have a system, severe risk actually from a little bit of the Texas Panhandle, very small amount, and then Oklahoma, northern Oklahoma, and south and central Kansas. And in day 5, that risk moves into the southeast region, and day 6 predictability is too low, and then the potential drops off on day 7. So we do see here how downstream mid-level high may evolve north of the Great Lakes region, causing mid-level troughing and causing an embedded low develop east of the lower Mississippi Valley. And then, of course, the troughing from the subtropical eastern Pacific and southwest will continue to progress, obviously. And, of course, we're going to have high shear and cape up to potentially 2,000, 3,000, what some model runs have shown. That doesn't mean we're going to have it, but it's just what some model runs have shown. As well as supercells and upscale growing cluster for the Central Plains. Obviously, that's going to move into the southeast after Saturday night. And we could even see a more notable signal for the evolution of a substantial organized cluster across parts of the Ozark Plateau and Mid-South into adjacent portions of the Gulf Coast states Sunday through Sunday night. Obviously, Sunday through Sunday night is day 5. So day 4 and 5. So that means we could have an extended risk for day 4 and 5, or it could go into day 6 where we could have a risk. So due to that signal going into the parts of the Gulf Coast states and the Mid-South, we'll have to watch out for that, though. The Gulf Coast states, it might be more western, but we will have to see. And now we're going to move on from that to the HRRR, which does show... I'm not going to go NAM because they can sometimes overshow stuff. But anyway, of course, we do see that bow echo, potentially derecho right here. We have the first line going through right now, and then that bow echo through later. And it even shows it going through Florida, which would probably be more of a wind threat. Of course, this whole thing is mainly more of a wind threat. And, of course, as we're getting closer to the Gulf, it kind of shows mainly a wind threat. Of course, tornado threat kind of diminishes. Of course, spin-up tornadoes are possible, but it's more likely a wind threat, of course. Now, HRRR might be overdoing it a little bit because I don't expect the bow echo to go all the way into, like, Gainesville and stuff, so I'm not expecting that. And then we have the second round of discrete cells, mainly a wind threat again, and then the third round off in Florida, western parts of Florida. And if we go to the Cape, we do see the whole time we're having capes around over 2,000, even to 3,000. And finally, if we go to GFS, and we're going to go to ML Cape and wind crossovers for the later risk, we do see very high Cape during the risk for Mississippi, Arkansas, and Oklahoma, and Kansas, up to 4,000 potentially. So this is actually a higher run than what I previously saw it. And then after that, nothing to look at. Anyway, guys, just stay safe. Please check out my other 2 videos if you haven't in the tropical update from last night. Anyway, guys, stay safe. Any questions, please leave them in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.